So the Chargers choked, right? They were favored in first game. They choked to the Texans, 32-12. That was the final score in the game. 2 touchdowns, or sorry, not 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and a touchdown from Ladd McConkey. With no PAT, I should add. Actually, the PAT was taken back to the house by the Texans. We went for 2. The Texans took it back to the house for 2 points. So, that was rough. I'm proud. I don't think anybody else is going to say anywhere near the same thing I'm saying. But I'm proud of my team. This was a rebuild year. We went 11-6 on a rebuild year. Think about that. The only other team in the NFL doing this right now is the Vikings. They're 14-2 on a rebuild year. Or not even, I wouldn't even say a rebuild. I would call it more of a transition, right? Because right now what's going on with the Chargers is everything. Harbaugh fucking uprooted everything, right? Because Staley's fat fucking ass. Terrible. Harbaugh came in, turned it around immediately, right? So what we need next season? We need Quentin Johnston fired, right? Kill him, cut him, feed him to the Wolves. He can go fuck himself. Okay, I'm being a bit harsh. Listen, as much as I try and root for him, really I do. Every game, I try to root for him, but he just disappoints so often. I don't see a future with him in the Chargers. I think we should get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of Greg Roman. I'm hoping for T. Higgins. I just want a wide receiver that's not dog shit. I want a wide receiver that can really handle that fucking playoff pressure, right? But either way, right, we just need a wide receiver, right? Some of the things I've been seeing is Garrett Wilson. I don't want Garrett Wilson. He's a Jet. Gives me the ick. I don't want Garrett Wilson. T. Higgins, that's the common one I've been seeing. D-Hop, Tyreek. If we, for whatever reason, pick up Tyreek, I'm getting fucking livid, right? But yeah, it's a lot of the ones I've seen. Get some fucking interior O-line. If you watch the game, you can see Jay Herbo was rattled 100% of the game. He finished with 4 interceptions. I would say 2 of them were his fault. The first pick, he just overthrew the chef, Ladd McConkey. It was very un-Herbo-like. I don't know what he was doing. And then there was another one that I'm going to be honest, I kind of forget what happened, but I just remember it was his fault. The other two interceptions went straight through the hands of a receiver. Both times. It was back-to-back, too. Very, very hard to watch. I think it was Quentin Johnston. It's 2 of these 3 people I'm about to name. 2 of these people let the ball go through their hands. Ladd, Quentin Johnston, or Will Dissly. One of them didn't. One of them didn't let up an interception. The other 2 though did. I'm pretty sure it was Quentin Johnston and Will Dissly. I'm not a huge Will Dissly guy. I think we need a better tight end. We just need better everything. Look, our quarterback, right? Our quarterback is not playoff made, right? This dude cracks under pressure immediately. If Harbaugh can just work on that, buff that out, amazing, perfect. That is, I think, the number one thing Herbert has to work on. He just, because he's so used to, I guess, just not being under pressure, right? Because It's fucking Herbert, usually gets the ball out fast, right? But, it's a playoff game. Los Angeles is on fire. I don't know how much that's affecting things. But you could just see the entire game. He is fucking rattled. And if you look over to the sidelines, Jim Harbaugh looks visibly sick. Like, it actually made me sad. Like, in the fourth quarter, like, it would cut, like, the camera would cut over to him, and he actually looked sick. It made me very sad. I don't know. Herbert is an amazing fucking quarterback. He needs to iron some shit out. Well, but for a record, so many great quarterbacks have started off as playoff jokers. Lamar, Peyton Manning. That's all I got. But those two, right? Two great quarterbacks started off as playoff chokers. And now look at them. Lamar is on his way to the MVP. Probably, unless Josh Allen beats him to it. And Peyton Manning's Peyton Manning. Right? There is something great in Justin Herbert. It needs some polishing, right? And hopefully, if we can really turn it up next year, I see us going to the AFC Championship at the least. If we can work on all the things I just mentioned, AFC Championship easy. Get some fucking O-line, right? Get the pressure off of Jay Herbo. Make him better under pressure. Because you could see that entire fucking game, he was just trying to force passes, and that's what got all those picks. Right, because his O-line was not stopping shit. He was getting rattled, right? Really hard to watch. J.K. Dobbins is good. I have no problem with J.K. Dobbins. I actually like him. It's, considering the O-line you have, I actually think what he's doing is very impressive. Watching some of the plays, even with this O-line, right? Even on plays where he's getting stopped behind the line of scrimmage, you can see him break one or two tackles before he goes down. And it's impressive to watch. It's just his O-line can't stop shit. Quentin Johnston, I know I already touched up on him. His nickname is Stonehands for a reason. He was pretty fucking electric last week against the Raiders, right? This week, dropped everything. 0 receptions, the entire game, 0. He is... It's rough. We took him in the first round over Zay Flowers, by the way. I just want that to be known. But, he is the most defeatist football player I think I've ever seen in the NFL. The second this dude fucks up one play, that is it for the rest of the game. Lights out. You're not seeing shit from him. The second he fucks up one little thing, all that confidence is just out the window. He sucks. And I try and love him. I really do. I really try and root for him every single game. But it is just really, really hard to root for him when he is just... he's just such a defeatist. It's hard to watch, really. I don't know. Listen, the things I'm looking forward to this offseason is whoever the fuck we're getting at wide receiver. Whoever it is. Even if it's fucking Tyreek Hill, right? As much as I fucking hate him, as much as I don't want him, it's an improvement over whatever bullshit we have going on, right? Now, will it ultimately lead us to a pitfall if we do get Tyreek Hill? Yes, because he's old and he's fucking a drama queen, and he's just a very un-Harbaugh type of player. Right? If he comes to the team, I already know what's going to happen. We're going to spend a bunch of fucking money on him. He's going to either do good, right, for a couple seasons, and then he's gone, and we're just back to being shit. Or he does terribly, and we're just, it's like the Staley era all over again. Just fucking terrible, horrible, insufferable. I don't know why I'm comparing that to it would be better than the Staley. Nothing is worse than the fucking Staley era, but I don't know, it would be rough to fucking watch. If we spend all this money on this dude, and he just chokes, it's gonna be very hard to watch as a Chargers fan. But that's like the worst possible ending. I know Jim Harbaugh's not gonna take his sorry ass. I've never liked Tyreek. I always thought he was a fucking asshole. I don't like him. I don't like Tyreek Hill. Garrett Wilson. Truthfully, I don't want him, but that's mostly just because I hate the Jets. I don't actually know a single fucking thing about him. He could actually be like the best wide receiver in the league. I would never know. T. Higgins. I like T. Higgins. He's alright. I would be very happy if he became a Charger. I think he's like just what we need. If we can see what would be truly, I don't think we're gonna draft a wide receiver. I think we're gonna get one from a different team. But if we do, it would be very exciting to see where he goes. Because if we can have another alright, I think we're gonna spend our draft picks on probably some O-line. Probably some O-line or a tight end. Right. The wide receiver, again, like I said, we're just going to get it from a different team. I don't think we're going to draft a wide receiver. I think what's going to happen, my prediction is Ladd stays wide receiver 1. And then you got T. Higgins at wide receiver 2. And I think Quentin Johnson is going to stay on the team as wide receiver 3. That's my personal prediction. I really think if we can just iron out some of the fucking, I guess, chokery with Quentin Johnson, he can be a serviceable wide receiver 3. But you gotta fix that defeatist mentality, man. The second he misses one play, it just snowballs. It's terrible. For this week in particular, Texans-Chargers, the two people I'd like to give a fucking, I guess, a shout out to is Dobbins. Dobbins played well. Or at least he showed good, performance and, skill and mechanics or whatever, right? I'm not necessarily looking at stats. I'm just going off of what I saw him do in the game. Even though, some of the plays were losses of yards. I would chalk that up more to his O-line than him. When he has space, he can really dance. I've seen him do it. I like him. I really like him. I think we just got to take the pressure off of him. As with most of the rest of our offense. Shout out to him. Shout out to Ladd McConkey. He is the only fucking person downfield who I think really in his head wanted to win that game. He showed up to fucking play, and nobody else did. Quentin Johnson did not show up to play. Will Disley did not show up to play. Ladarius, right? In my heart and in my mind, this dude's black, right? Ladarius McConkey, he showed up to play. Jay Herbo, as much as I love him, he played like shit today. It just happens to all of us, right? You just gotta work on ironing that out. Just really, Justin Herbert has to work on his under pressure performance. Now, should he be under as much pressure as he is? No. The interior O-line needs needs some changes. And Greg Roman needs to be fired. But I don't know. My predictions is obviously we're going to get some. Again, this is a rebuild year, right? Everything's going up next year, right? This was a rebuild, and we made it to the fucking playoffs, right? That's already impressive enough. Next year, I think what's going to happen is we're going to get that O-line help, right? We're going to get that help on the O-line. And Jim Harbaugh is going to, try and prepare Justin Herbert for those really, high-pressure situations, right? I think they're going to practice specifically for that. Trying to maintain, what's the word? Maintain that mental while you're under pressure. I think they're going to work on that. And then the O-line is also just going to take pressure off of him. So he's going to be under less pressure, right? But he's going to be more prepared for whatever pressure he's put under. So I think that's it really all just comes up to what Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh do. They're a dynamic duo. I like them. They just, they communicate well. Jim Harbaugh, it's honestly so fucking awesome to watch. Jim Harbaugh actually talks about Justin Herbert like he's his son. I actually love to fucking see it. Every single interview, it's just so fucking nice to watch. What I don't like seeing is, as cool as it is, right, as much as Justin Herbert looks like he just doesn't give a fuck all the time, I wish he would just show some emotion. Watching the post-game interview with Justin Herbert, he just looked like he didn't even, give a fuck. I'm sorry, that's the wrong way of putting it. He just looked very, I don't know, he just doesn't show emotion for anything. It's kind of admirable, but at the same time, it's kind of, annoying. A win, loss, whatever, if you didn't tell me if they won or lost, and you just made me watch an interview with this dude, I'd have no idea of telling. This dude's emotion does not change. He is just a fucking husk. Every single interview he's in. Right? Although I do think Jay Herbo, for the better, needs some criticism, right? Because I don't know. We gotta put a little pressure on him, right? This fucking, all love mentality, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, it's fucking, everything's fine, everything's great, you're my fucking brother, man, whatever, this, that, the other thing, right? It builds morale, right? It builds morale very well. But I feel like it kind of fucks you when you're under pressure because you're not really, I guess, toughened up for it. This is coming from a completely, I don't know that much about football. I'm not a fucking football coach, right? This is just my perspective on it. I'm probably very wrong. But I think just generally the Chargers and just, the media, and not the media's whatever, but just generally more pressure needs to be put on Herbert to prepare him for these playoff games. And that's in every facet. On the field, off the field, I think this dude should just be under a little more pressure. Because when he's relaxed, right, he plays amazing fucking ball. Watching this dude play when he's relaxed is honestly like watching fucking Eli Manning, right? But the second you put pressure on this dude, he just fucking folds. It's very hard to watch. But, unlike most Chargers fans, I'm very hopeful for next year. I think Ortiz is an amazing general manager. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do in the draft and what roster moves are going to make. Jim Harbaugh is the best coach in the league. I'm not arguing this with anybody. I can't wait to see what he does with this team. It's just as much of a punch in the teeth as this loss was, it is a very exciting time to be a Charger. Things are looking up. I just really think we need to kind of figure out what to do under pressure, right? Do I think we're going to the fucking, like, Super Bowl next year? No. No, I don't think so. Do I think we have a chance the year after that? Maybe. Depends what happens. If we keep going up, right, if next year is a good up year, and then the year after that is another good up year, I could see it. I can see it. I can see us going to a Super Bowl. But good changes need to be made. Justin Herbert really needs to mature as a player. Ladd McConkey and Herbert just need to keep building their connection. Really, they have an amazing connection, and I think if they can keep working on that, along with some help from an outside receiver like T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, whoever, it could really be a dangerous wide receiver room. Because Jay Herbo with Ladd McConkey is already fucking dangerous enough, right? But it's one wide receiver, right? Quentin Johnston, he chokes, right? Will Disley, it's not very good. But Herbert and McConkey, right? Large McConkey really have a connection. And if they can just get another receiver in there to really bump that up, I think it's going to be a really dangerous time to go against the Chargers next season. But, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah.